I'm Shane Ramey. You're listening to That Sober Guy podcast, and today I'm proving that mainstream health advice still refuses to be honest about alcohol. And even when that advice comes from a doctor, some of you might know this doctor, and we'll play a clip of that here shortly. Alcohol is still the only substance that's treated as mostly okay in health discussions. Let's forget the fact that not many positives health-wise have come out of alcohol. I've still never heard anybody say my habitual drinking habits have really improved my life. You've probably heard me say that before. I've still continued to say it, and I've still haven't met anyone who's told me the opposite of that. Now, you could argue social situations, it helps with bonding, it helps to connect. And I understand that take. Alcohol lowers inhibitions. And so maybe that social anxiety for the short term, people might say, yeah, that actually helps me. So I understand that. But in the long run, isn't that kind of a fake concept because you're not the authentic self? And so if the only way you can socialize and bond is over a drink or drinks or whatever at a bar, you would tend to believe, I think at least I would, that if I continue to do that, that practice, those reps that I'm getting in, I'm only going to know how to socialize with alcohol. And that is not the authentic self. That is a facade. They call it fugazi. We'll call it a fugazi. Seen Donnie Brasco, great movie. But it's the only substance that's still treated as mostly okay in many health discussions, even when it doesn't improve anyone's overall lifestyle. So here's what I'm talking about today. Dr. Oz says, don't drink for breakfast. Don't drink. Maybe you heard the clip. It was floating around in the past week or so quite a bit on X and a lot of the other platforms and even in the mainstream media. But don't drink for, and he said a little bit more to that. We're going to play it here in just a minute, but it implies that everything is fine. Everything is fine in moderation. We've talked about that many times on the show. The cultural normalization of alcohol. What does that look like? It's so normalized. We talk about this a lot. The normalcy bias of alcohol. Work events, dinners, parties, funerals, birthdays, weddings, celebrate, sports games, sports events, I need a hat that just says sports. Saw a lady one time wearing that at a game. Sports. Thought that was great. Also saw a lot of people very serious about their team losing, whether it was the 49ers or who did Denver beat in the last couple of minutes? The Bills. That was another big game. A lot of people upset, a lot of grown men upset about their team. I just want a quick reminder, not hating on anybody. I love sports. I'm a Raider fan, I guess you can call it. I followed the Raiders, the A's for a long time, but I'm not on the team. I don't get paid by the team. They don't know me. It's not my team. It's simply, I watch the game because I enjoy the sport. I enjoy the sport of football or baseball or whatever it is that I'm watching. I'm not part of the team. So please stop saying we. Please stop saying we. But a sports event, drinking, a concert, it's all there, right? Some of the culture is starting to shift, starting to change. And we're seeing some of that, obviously, if you're tuning into this, you're probably aware, something's up. Something might need to change a bit. Or you see it changing. But the normalization, the normalcy bias of alcohol at everywhere we go, everything we do, it's a real thing. And they say moderation. You'll hear Dr. Oz say, in moderation, and just a little bit moderation. It's intentionally vague for that purpose. No one actually defines the limits, and you'll hear him say again too. Well, the old thing was 1 drink or 2 drinks. I don't know that that's really relevant today. Those findings were based on blah 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 blah. But think about this for a second. When it's so vague like that, and they say drink responsibly, right? Drink. What is drink responsibly? What don't have a couple of drink or have a couple of drinks and don't get behind the wheel. That's responsibly. Okay. Have a couple of drinks and don't punch someone in the face responsibly. What is responsibly? Only drink on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and occasional Sunday. Is that responsible? What is it? What is responsible drinking? Because to my knowledge, there's no benefit to drinking. No long-term benefits health-wise, that's for sure. There's no proof on that I'm aware of. But nobody defines the limits. And that's done on purpose. It's intentionally vague. And they talk a lot about sugar or smoking or all different red meat even. There's a big the carnivore diet versus the different paleo or whatever it is. Like there, all these things, there's a lot of science, there's a lot of backing, there's a lot of very different opinions. Obviously, everyone's got a different opinion. I get it. Someone's going to have a different opinion about my take on alcohol right here. There will be something to counter. There always is, and that's fine. That's the art and the beauty of debate and critical thinking, which unfortunately this country has lost some a bit lately if you've tuned into the fake news and the and I mean that in the best of way, not in a specific way that maybe you've heard many times before, because I don't even think the news is news anymore. I'm pretty sure it's just a one big propaganda machine, but and that's not a right or a left thing at all. That's just a fact. That is just a general fact from all of what you see and what you hear. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. So the debate between other substances, other things, sugar, compared to alcohol, those, it's so vague is what I'm getting at here. And why is that? Why is that? Is it a money thing? I don't know. It could be. And is it that they want to continue to create the facade that, moderation is good. It's all right. A little bit here, you're good. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know what that is, and it gets a lot of people in trouble. So habitual drinking in society, it's somewhat rewarded socially, if you think about it. And clearness, a sober mind, it's looked at as a little bit like, hey, you're kind of weird. You don't drink. I've heard people, I don't trust a man who doesn't drink. What? You don't trust a man who doesn't drink? Who says that and who believes that? Is that possible? That's got to be one of the dumbest things I've heard. I don't trust a man who I actually depending on the person. Okay, everyone's different. I have a pretty good filter, I think, in judgment of if somebody is, bullshit me or they're just not. I'm not getting a good vibe from them. But for the most part, I'm probably going to have some trust in somebody who believes in clarity and purpose and is motivated and is a great leader. It doesn't mean everybody's perfect. There's always bad apples. I get that. But for the most part, versus somebody who is highly intoxicated and relies on alcohol to deal with things in life, and it's the only way they can socialize. And I'm probably going to trust the person, the guy, the man, the friend, whatever, the dad, the business owner, the business to do work at my house, or just, if it's a buddy, whatever. I'm probably going to put a little more trust in that guy who's got the clarity. So the statement, "I'd never trust a guy who doesn't drink," that's just not a great comment. It's not very intelligent, I don't think, to put that there. And maybe it's a joke. That's fine. We're joking. Hey, I get it. We're joking. But the social reward system for drinking, whether you're talking about yourself or just as a society, and you hear this too. Oh man, I've heard a lot of people say this in passing in different situations. I mean, more than once, twice, twice, 3 times a lady. I'm having a little fun today. Okay, I'm having a little fun today. But I've heard people say, "Oh man, they get a long day or whatever. It's been stressful. Oh God, I need a drink. That is a socially, in most forms, that's a socially acceptable comment to make. Okay? Now I want you to think about this. Think about the same situation. And I'll use this my wife had mentioned this to me in the salon. She heard this at work one day. Oh, someone came in and said, I need a drink. It was a younger person too, which was interesting to me, like 20s. Now imagine if that same person came in and said, man, I need a hit of heroin right now. I need some heroin. Yeah, rough day. That's a little bit different, right? Because heroin is socially unacceptable in many cases in modern society. But a drink, alcohol, which destroys more lives than all drugs combined, that's okay. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? And what it does is it highlights how that moderation language, drink responsibly, be sure to moderate. It creates a permission culture. You have permission to drink. I think my dog's barking now. He must be trying to talk out there to me. What's going on here? Trying to get let in the door or something. I don't know. Sonny! All right, I think he's good. But it creates permission culture. Here's permission. It's all good. Don't trip. Don't worry about it. Moderate. Drink responsibly. Like, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I've never heard anybody say either, like, hey, I love to drink, and man, it's really made me a better father. Really made me a top-notch friend. Man, just a great, you know what? My drinking habits, I am at the top of my game in my business, in my workplace. I am a great employee because of my drinking. I'm a great husband because of the alcohol. Man, tell you what, when I come home and tie a couple on and realize, oh man, I am just present. I am just there 100% for my kids and my wife and myself, my health. Oh gosh, I am in the best shape of my life. And it all has to do. Thank you very much, alcohol. Thank you so much. I am the greatest. I am in the greatest mind state because of that. Have you ever heard anybody say that? I don't think I have. I haven't. So when you hear that, I want you to think about that next time you hear that moderation or drink responsibly. I want you to think about how it sounds harmless, but in reality, really what it is, it's a cultural shield. That's it. It's a cultural shield. It puts up this almost invisible force field to make it culturally acceptable. Let's stop for a minute and play the Dr. Oz clip. I want you to listen to this and hear what he's, because in all fairness, he does say in here, he's basically saying, I know alcohol is not great, not good for you. So he does say that in fairness, but the fact of that we're still even justifying it and acting like there is some good to it, I don't see it. I don't see it. Here's the clip. Fair enough. But, wow. Don't drink for breakfast. Don't drink for breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. When that counts as health advice, something may be a little bit off. And like I said, in all fairness, he maneuvered around that well. In I got to give it to him for that. But come on. And why is it? So let's ask this too. Why is it that most people only question their drinking, they question their alcohol after something breaks, and then the health advice reinforces that habit? Like, habitual drinking never did anything positive for me in my life. I can't think back. Did it create a lot of social situations? Sure, it did. It also created a lot of bad decisions. It also created a lot of unnecessary BS talk that I served no purpose. It also created drama. It also created a reliance in order to socialize, which you soon become dependent on. So to Dr. Oz's point of, oh, hey, it's a great excuse to get together and bond. It's an excuse. It's not good for you. That's not, I don't see that as being something that is beneficial to any man or any woman or any person. And you see that in the celebrity culture quite a bit. You know, or how about the brunch culture? Let's talk about brunch. Let's talk about brunch culture. Hey, we're going to go to brunch. We're going to kick back a couple of eggs. We're going to have a piece of bacon, maybe some fruit. And don't forget to fill up that cup with champagne and some OJ. I need a mimosa. I need a Bloody Mary because it's brunch. It's totally acceptable. Business culture, same thing. Networking, defending alcohol quietly. Oh, it's part of the job. It's part of the gig. We got to drink. Just comes with the territory. Making sales, making that money. There's a scene I just thought of on Wolf of Wall Street. Watched that not too long ago. Matthew McConaughey and Leonardo DiCaprio sitting in the restaurant early, and he does the chest pump. He's going down the list of things. It's totally acceptable in that environment. The culture. This is a culture issue, folks. This is what I'm getting at here. This isn't just an alcohol issue or a person issue or a Dr. Oz issue. This is a culture issue. We're changing the culture. We're looking at this stuff. Here's another thought I had. He danced around that so good, the words in some instances, other than don't drink for breakfast. I thought that was hilarious. And how many people do drink for a brunch culture? We're going to go have brunch. We're going to go have brunch. Just think about how that brunch, and it's immediately associated with alcohol, and it's so acceptable. Oh, I had a couple of mimosas. Had a couple of Bloody Marys, had a what do they call it when you put beer in the tomato juice? I forgot what the hell that's called. Those things, whatever they are, but we're going to do brunch. Going to do brunch. And they'll defend it. They'll continue to defend it. I couldn't help but think, though, even before I did a little pre-production for this and started, listening to what Dr. Oz said, when I first saw that, which, gosh, it's probably been a week now, I'm a little behind on this, as you could tell, but I thought it was important to still talk about. The first thing I thought of was, man, Dr. Oz, great job dancing around that, and what a great nod to the alcohol companies. Like, hey, I'm not going to throw you under. I still have to, I got to get it out there that, hey, it's not so healthy, not the greatest, but a little bit's cool. A little bit's good. You're good. Hey, thank Coors, Budweiser, whatever other companies. I don't know why I said those first two, but I mean, I know there's larger distribution companies that probably own those brands. I don't know them offhand. But all the big companies, here's your little nod. We ain't going to throw you under the bus, even though there's absolutely really no health benefits to it. But the brunch culture, the weekend drinking routines, the moderate, I just drink, occasionally. Which, I mean, I know plenty of people who, I will tell you this. My wife has an occasional glass of wine. Every once in a while. Once a month, maybe, on average, maybe longer than that. I'm not hating alcohol. That's not the point here. I know it sounds like it because it's not my favorite. But this is a culture issue. It's a culture issue. It's a normalcy bias issue. And you hear people joking about it, or like I said, oh man, rough day. I need a drink. It's just so socially acceptable. And I'll say this, alcohol is not defended because it's healthy. It's defended because it's profitable and because it's normalized. So think about that. Big, big money behind it. Big, big influence behind it. Big, big sponsorship to keep you intoxicated and dumbed down and disconnected from your authentic self. And people are figuring that out. And they're going, nah, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm better than that. You know what? I have more to offer this life than being intoxicated, all the time. Health culture celebrates some of those small wins in life, right? And I was just at the Amplify Sober Voices Podfest Expo. I just got back from that actually just over the weekend. Great time. Shout out to Podfest Expo. Shout out to the Amplify Sober Voices team. It was a great experience, great time. And I can't remember what one point, it may have been over dinner or something one night, somebody said, they were talking about all the health industry. They have these big health conferences and it's yoga and this and health and wellness and, all the things combined you could think of with health and wellness. And they have these conferences and then afterwards they go and they drink a bunch of alcohol, completely contradicting itself. Alcohol's off the radar, but we're going to do all the health stuff over here. So we have to start looking at this a little bit different, folks. We got to take a look at it. We got to be real about it. And we have to, casual drinking, total wellness versus the casual drink. What does that look like? Is that once a month? They haven't put a number. They haven't put a label on it. It's very vague. Like I said earlier, and that's an issue. People need specifics. And I don't think you can really give specifics with alcohol. I really don't. I think that would be very difficult. So I had to stop for a second because I just think about the insanity behind some of this. I mean, we talk about vegetables and supplements and workouts, but somebody, you talk about alcohol and it's like, oh, you need a disclaimer here. Like, what is that? The visibility in that wellness culture is big. It's definitely something that needs to be looked at. Let's wrap up today. I had some more notes here, but I think I'm done. I don't want to beat this into a pulp here. But being honest about alcohol is kind of the next phase, I think, of this real wellness trend, this real wellness push. There has to be some advice around it. It can't be so vague. We have to have some better guidelines around it, and we can't promote don't drink for breakfast. That's just not. And like I said, to be fair, I'm just pulling a clip out. That was a part of it. He did say more than that. At the same time, I mean, come on, like you're a doctor. Clarity feels extreme. Because, and I love this, but I want you to lean in real quick. Listen to this before we wrap up. Clarity over chaos, number one, but clarity feels extreme because society rewards numbing out. And that's not just with alcohol. That's with shopping, with money, with food, with sex. Go down the list of things that you can numb out from. Sobriety is not about the moral high ground. Okay, it's about awareness. It's about overall health and wellness, being your authentic self. That is what having a sober mind is about. Questioning alcohol is easier than society lets you think when you start to wake up from the numbness and you start to ask yourself some of those questions. So here's a question that's a good one. Think about this. If alcohol truly helped us thrive, we wouldn't need to kind of whisper about it and just act like, it's kind of, I don't know, man. You'd be speaking out loud. Like most people don't need to hit rock bottom. They just need permission earlier that it's okay to not involve it in your life. And I think the culture is starting to shift in that direction very slowly. But hey, we're having this talk, so that's something that is, beneficial, moving in the right direction. I hope something spoke to you today. Don't try not to overanalyze, I think, too, because there are some people who drink moderately and they seem fine. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not making this an individual thing, so I hope nobody's offended by any of this. We're looking at culture. We're looking at patterns here. We're looking at the overall perspective. The issue is cultural reinforcement, not different isolated experiences. Everyone's experience different. But the moderation advice, it doesn't deal with that avoidance of things, and it doesn't address the health issues per se. It's, hey, moderate is good. Moderate is good. What is that? So as we wrap up today, I would appreciate if you shared the podcast with a friend. Hopefully something spoke to you today. And I appreciate you tuning into that Sober Guy podcast. You can get more resources, more podcasts, do some one-on-one coaching. I have a book on there as well. If you go to thatsoberguy.com, you can find all of that there. Take care. God bless. Keep your blood clean.